All right, let's just dive right in, because honestly, this story, it almost sounds made up. Imagine a kid from a really small town in eastern Canada. He completely struggled in school, and he was in and out of jail and rehab by the time he was just 17. But, fast forward a bit, that exact same person somehow ends up getting Mark Cuban to invest in his company. He spends a whole week hanging out with Richard Branson. He even gets invited by Tony Robbins to speak on his stage literally 7 times. So how on earth does a massive transformation like that actually happen? Well, it all comes down to one single word: relationships. Now, I know what you're thinking. Everyone always says your network is your net worth, right? But almost nobody actually sits down and shows you exactly how to build that network from scratch. So today, we are unpacking a complete masterclass on how to do exactly that. We're going to transform networking from this cringy, awkward chore into a powerhouse, value-driven system for your own personal growth. In today's explainer, we're covering 5 things: the paradigm shift, the invisible showstoppers, 3 mindset blockers, the TRIP framework, and finally, tactical outreach steps. It's a highly actionable blueprint, so let's get into it. Section 1. The networking paradigm shift. Before we even think about touching the tactics, we absolutely have to make a fundamental mental shift. You've got to start thinking in people, not problems. Seriously, you are often just one single conversation or one simple introduction away from completely changing the trajectory of your entire life. That one new relationship, it could be your next business partner, an amazing mentor, or a rockstar employee. Instead of just staring blankly at a wall trying to hack your way through some huge challenge through really slow trial and error, you need to look around for the person who's already holding the sledgehammer. Look at it this way. The average person runs into an obstacle and they immediately ask, man, how do I solve this? But the most successful people, the wealthiest, the most impactful out there, they ask a totally different question. They ask, who has already solved this? This whole idea actually comes from Ben Hardy's concept of who, not how. Think about it. Every single problem you are dealing with right now, somebody else out there in the world has already solved it. And if you build a genuine relationship with them, you basically get to inherit their solution. Trying to figure it all out completely on your own is just going to cost you years of your life. But connecting with the person who already holds the blueprint, that saves you from making thousands of really painful mistakes. So, let's actually put this into practice right now. We're going to create what we call a hit list. It takes literally 2 minutes. Step 1, just write down 5 very specific goals you want to hit by the end of the year. Maybe you want to get your health in check, or finally figure out your finances, or hey, maybe it's something super niche like getting better at wake surfing. Step 2, next to every single goal, write down the name of a specific person who is already living that reality. So for health, maybe it's that fitness expert you follow on YouTube. For money, maybe it's a finance author like Garrett Gunderson. For wake surfing, maybe it's a pro like Austin Keene. Just match the goal to the person. Keep this list close by, because it is the absolute foundation for everything we're about to do. Moving on to Section 2, the invisible showstoppers. Okay, so you might be wondering, why haven't these crazy life-changing relationships happened for me yet? Well, a lot of times it comes down to external behavioral mistakes that are silently ruining your networking opportunities before they even get off the ground. First up is flaking, or just being late. High-level folks absolutely need people they can trust 100%. So the easy fix? Only commit when you are 100% sure you can deliver. There's this crazy story from our source material about a guy who literally ran up to a host mid-workout at the gym in a full suit and tie just to pitch him. The host was actually super nice about it and invited the guy to his weekly Tuesday founder hike. It was the perfect opportunity. But the guy never showed up. He flaked. And just like that, the door slammed permanently shut. Next is neediness. Don't act like some desperate fanboy hoping for a sprinkle of magical success dust. Act like a peer. Third is the instant ask. Asking for big favors right out of the date gets you an immediate no. The fix is to give first. Don't ask if someone wants a video edited, just edit the video and send it to them. And finally, being transactional. Keeping score basically repels successful people. The fix here is to just be intentional and build goodwill without constantly demanding a one-to-one return on your investment.
Because at the end of the day, all of these behaviors are building your overall reputation. The way you act will get back to the people you want to know. Take this cautionary tale about a guy, we'll just call him Bobby. Bobby was actually up for a really major partnership, but a mutual friend let the host know that Bobby was constantly gossiping and talking trash about people behind their backs. And based purely on that one piece of information, the host totally walked away from the deal. The wild part? Bobby never even knew why he lost the opportunity. He was always perfectly polite right to the host's face, but his external behavior in other circles acted as this invisible showstopper.
Section 3. 3 mindset blockers. All right, so we covered the external mistakes.
Now we have to pivot and talk about the internal psychological barriers. You know, that head trash that stops us from even trying to connect in the first place. There are 3 massive lies we constantly tell ourselves. Lie 1, who am I to take their time? Look, you're comparing your chapter 2 to their chapter 27. You have to stop tying your personal worth to your current achievements. Lie 2, I have no value to add. This is a huge one for a lot of people. But everyone, and I mean everyone, has value. The source material shares this brilliant little story about a best friend named Marty. What's Marty's greatest value? He is simply the ultimate cheerleader. Think about it. When you start really winning in life, a lot of people actually stop celebrating you because they just assume you don't need to hear it anymore. So simply being the person who genuinely and loudly celebrates someone else's wins, that is an incredibly valuable trait. And then there's lie 3. They're just different.
And to completely dismantle that third lie, I want you to remember this great piece of advice from Joe Rogan. He says, they all go to the bathroom. They're human. They're normal people. We absolutely have to de-pedestalize these elite individuals. Top performers aren't magical beings. They're literally just normal humans who have been making different decisions for a slightly longer period of time than you have. So be kind, be curious for sure, but stop putting them on this untouchable pedestal.
Section 4. The Tribe Framework. Okay, we're getting into the core engine of this whole explainer. This is the exact system used to build real relationships with absolute heavy hitters like Tony Robbins. It's an acronym, TRIBE. T stands for target. You got to be super intentional with your list. That's the hit list we made earlier. R is realize. Realize that you don't need any one specific person. Please don't make a single individual the ultimate gatekeeper of your dreams. Cast a wide net. I is invest. And honestly, the absolute best way to invest in a relationship is to just show up. There's this incredible story here about an author named Jason Gaichard. When the host of our source material released a new book, Jason flew 2,000 miles just to stand in line at a local bookstore to support the launch. I mean, why is he so beloved by his network? Because he just shows up. B is for build, and E is for edit. Let's actually take a closer look at those last 2 steps.
So how do you actually execute the build step? You need what we call a platform. Now, a platform is really just a place or an event that you create to invite people to collaborate. It lets you add massive value to them while completely naturally expanding your own network. And listen, this does not have to be some giant tech startup. It can literally be organizing simple local entrepreneur dinners. You invite an accountant, a lawyer, a marketer, people who don't even know each other yet, and then you just sit back, eat, and let them talk. Suddenly you're positioned as the master networker of the group, and all you did was send a group email. Or hey, host an open weekly morning hike. It costs you $0, you get a workout in, and you effortlessly build a powerful local network.
And that brings us to the E in tribe, edit. You have got to fix your social media feed. I'm talking about deliberately curating what you see every day. Obviously follow the people on your hit list, but maybe even more importantly, you need to mute or unfollow all the negativity and the useless distractions. Why? Well, think about it. If a really high-value contact on your list posts a major life update, like they're having a baby or launching a new book, you need to actually see it in your feed so you can be the very first person in the comments congratulating them. And you literally can't do that if your feed is completely clogged up with posts from random people from your 8th grade English class that you don't even talk to anymore.
Section 5. Tactical Outreach Steps. All right, we are in the home stretch here. We've got the mindset down, we've got our framework. Now we need the actual tactical playbook to execute your outreach. Step 1, do your homework. Read their books, watch their YouTube videos. Never, ever freestyle your outreach. You're looking for what we call uncommon commonalities, like finding out both of your dads were commercial pilots. Step 2, follow them and thoughtfully engage on their social media. Just leave smart comments so your name becomes vaguely familiar to them over time. Step 3, ask for specific advice with absolutely no pitch. And whatever you do, never ask basic questions that a 10-second Google search could answer. Do not message a tech founder asking, hey, how do I start an AI company? All that does is show them you haven't put in any work yourself. Instead, check out this example of a totally perfect outreach message. Hey Dan, debating, should I use Grok or Codex for my AI app? Look at what this does. First of all, it's incredibly short. It's highly specific. It proves right away that you're actually in the trenches doing the work. And most importantly, it makes it ridiculously easy for a busy expert to reply with a quick, opinionated answer. Notice how there is absolutely no pitch here. You're not asking them for investment money. You're not asking to pick their brain over a 60-minute coffee. It's just a smart, highly targeted question.
Now, once you hit send and you get that beautiful reply back, you apply these advanced closing tactics. Number 1, always leave your cell phone number at the bottom of the email. If they're driving or walking and just want to give you a quick verbal answer, make it completely frictionless for them to just tap your number and call. Number 2, thank them immediately when they do reply and tell them exactly how you applied their advice in the real world. It makes them feel genuinely helpful and impactful. Number 3, volunteer for their projects. There's a brilliant example of this from the source material. A super successful entrepreneur moved to San Francisco, but he literally knew nobody. Instead of trying to just big time his way into fancy rooms, he reached out to this woman named Cassie, who ran all the biggest events in the city. He just offered to volunteer and do the grunt work of recruiting speakers for her. By doing that, he naturally built relationships with basically every top entrepreneur in the entire city, all on her behalf. And finally, number 4, celebrate their wins. When they hit a major milestone, make sure you are the very first person in their comments cheering them on.
So, I want to leave you with one final, kind of provocative question to wrap up our explainer today. Think all the way back to that hit list we built at the very beginning. What is your absolute biggest goal right now, and whose name is sitting right next to it? You now have the exact step-by-step blueprint to reach out to them. It's time to stop relying on really slow trial and error. Drop the head trash, use the tribe framework, and start building your network today. Because remember, you are literally only one conversation away from completely changing your life.